message. 2023 is around the corner. And I think the best way for us to start 2023 correctly is to have a very good understanding of grace. Now, our past brings a whole bunch of pain, temptation, doubt, and lastly, fear. And these are things that most of us, this is what we're a product of. And because we're a product of this, it's very hard for us to reach out and claim God's identity for us. But again, take those situations and make it our identity. Do you get what I'm saying? With that being said, I think it's very important for us to understand the definition of grace, which is basically God's unmerited favor upon you and I, who are sinners, right? In other words, it's God's compassion on the undeserving. In other words, it's God's favor towards the unworthy. In God's grace, He is willing to forgive us and bless us. And despite us falling short, according to Romans chapter 3, verse 23, it says, "For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." God's able to see past that. But the problem to access grace is the fact that we lack faith. And faith is what introduces us to this grace. Again, if you continue a little bit further down in the verses 24 and 25, it talks about how, again, we're justified by grace through Christ. But again, it says having faith in His blood. So again, faith is what allows us to have access. Think of it as this, like a vehicle, right? You're given a vehicle, you're given a car, right? But you're not given the keys. Faith is the key that allows that car to be yours, because without the key, the car is nothing. It's just in that place. It's just there. You can look at it, you can marvel it, you can touch it, but the car cannot be lived up to its full potential because you do not have the access to that vehicle. Grace is the same way, and our faith is the key to allowing us to experience God's unmerited favor upon each and every one of us. And I think that because we are products of a certain past, certain types of tribulation, certain types of stress, certain types of pain, heartache, and crap, because we're a part of that stuff, it makes it very hard sometimes to truly believe and accept God's grace on us. And we look at ourselves as mistakes. We look at ourselves as, the product of what people may think about you, what your parents may think about you, and most of it being negative. And that's what holds us back from experiencing true peace, true freedom. And I think that that's something as believers we need to really take into account for 2023, because you are not what your parents may think you to be. You are not what the world may seek you or think of you to be. You are not what your group is expecting of you to be. You are what God wants you to be whenever He needs you to be it. So I truly believe that understanding grace could allow you to take the next steps to being closer with God, because I think it's a very important message for you to get across across your mindset. Your mind is formulated by a lot of garbage, and we as Christians, when we read the word, we have to understand faith comes by hearing the word. That's in Romans chapter 10 verse 17. We have to be able to embody that and take that and make that a reality, and take what God says about you, because that matters and trumps anything that anyone in the world may say about you. That's why in Romans chapter 5 verse 1 to 2 it talks about how we are justified by faith. And this faith is that we have is because of the peace that will be given to us through having that faith in God Jesus, right? God and Jesus. But you have to understand that with faith is the introduction to grace, right? So when you have faith and you're now introduced to grace, you will now have this hope inside of you that no matter what situation you're in, whether your bills are late, whether your kids are giving you issues, whether your significant other isn't respecting you the way you wish it to be, whether your college isn't going the way it's supposed to be, your grades may not be up, or whether you're sick and you feel like you're always sick and you're always fighting, whether your life may be falling apart, have faith in God, man, because again, God will never put you in some form of temptation or some form of circumstance where He will not provide a way out. And I truly believe in this, and that's why, living my life not by my eyes but by my spiritual eyes is the best way, because the Bible tells us in Proverbs chapter 3 verses, I believe 4 to 5, where it talks about trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll make straight your paths. Plural. So guys, I hope that you start 2023 right. I hope that you guys are able to get something from this message, and I hope that you guys are able to walk in God's favor. That's just the best place to be. All right, God bless. Take care, guys.